50 Cent has exploited a circumstance to make a message once more. The topic of discussion this time is the game's recent $7 million legal defeat. According to a court ruling regarding serious domestic abuse allegations, the footballer must now sell his mansion to cover the damages. The internet is reacting swiftly to the criticism and satire that are raging on social media. 50 Cent has contributed to the crisis's escalation and raised public awareness of it. What is gaining more attention is the underlying trend of the dispute.
We was busting real bullets. One of my homies got hit. He's still alive, and in jail. But yeah, man, like we was shooting, they was shooting, shit was crazy. And I don't even know who fired first shot. I just know we were shooting.
Since the charges against the game are in line with earlier allegations against other business leaders, they raise concerns about deeper behavioral linkages. Now, others are questioning whether this is just another case of unchecked power being used excessively. This dispute between 50 Cent and the game started in the early 2000s and was based on a well-known quarrel that G-Unit initially guided with help from Dr. Dre. The game's lifespan was, although 50 Cent played a significant role. Tension soon rose. Violent repercussions from their professional split included lyrical jabs, court battles, public accusations, and viral encounters. Nearly 20 years have passed since the start of the conflict. This long-running controversy has been kept alive by digital platforms and public interviews, ensuring that it will remain an important part of hip-hop history.
My issue with Game is I don't know what happened with him, period.
But he felt so hurt. He really looked up to you.
How could you have an assessment on a person who was flip-flopped their entire career? He almost bipolar. If you watch it, like the way he does things, like he'll do it like he's extremely emotional.
50 Cent continued his practice of online warfare by launching a barrage of memes and critical comments aimed at the game. In one infamous phone call, the game accused 50 of being a snitch, to which 50 replied by ridiculing the game's early days in the industry. The clip went viral on social media, escalating an already existing hatred. Let's go ahead to the present. The game's mansion has been officially reoccupied as a consequence of a court ruling. The farm was seized to settle a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. Additionally, 50 Cent didn't waste any time turning the situation into something beneficial. His precise and impactful post catapulted the event into the viral sphere. He takes a methodical rather than random approach. Criticizing celebrities has become the main focus of 50 Cent's public image. From ridiculing Wendy Williams to disparaging Ja Rule and Young Buck, the pattern is clear. The game is now the newest addition to that expanding list. Outside of the game, there were other targets, though. 50 has also focused more on Diddy in response to new allegations. After CNN aired surveillance footage linked to a major court case, 50 Cent used his platform to voice his disapproval. Questions concerning Diddy's public defense were sparked by a harsh caption on one post that included the hotel footage. It was the beginning of a digital effort that would assess every update on a case. Using his online platform as a public opinion tribunal, 50 Cent has often delivered jabs. Diddy is currently facing significant legal issues, but the criticism has just gotten worse.
He cool and we good. It ain't no drama. I ain't gonna see 50 and whoop his ass at 40 years old.
Then it goes to extremely aggressive.
50's like an asshole. He can't rap.
He went overseas and he had an issue with Memphis Bleak and Jay-Z on stage. He asked me about Piggy Bank, so he could say I don't have a problem with nobody.
50 had problems with like Nas, Fat Joe, and I think the Locks at that time. And I really wanted to hold down Jesus, you know what I'm saying? But like these were guys that really influenced my, my life.
In-depth examinations of alleged cover-ups, comparisons to Harvey Weinstein, and vague hints that there might be more damaging footage available have all been shared by 50. The post suggests a relentless pursuit of total visibility, framed as a continuous online investigation. While Diddy was involved in legal issues, 50 definitely brought attention back to the game. Another longtime target, the rapper's future also doesn't seem promising right now. For context, in 2016, the game experienced a major legal setback. Priscilla Rainey, a contestant on his VH1 reality show She's Got Game, sued him, alleging that he acted inappropriately during production. Court documents show that while the production remained silent, Rainey was forced to drink and then mistreated on camera. The game reportedly never appeared in court to defend himself, which is the most negative part. As a result, the judge issued a $7.1 million default judgment. Such a fine is not negligible. It's the kind that persists all through life. The payment has been a significant issue ever since that ruling, and Rainey's employees are putting in more effort to collect through enforcement measures. Let's go ahead to the present. The judge is officially impatient. A court verdict has authorized the sale of the game's opulent Calabasas estate. This $4 million home features a large pool, gated entry, and affluent views. It won't, however, cover the full $7.1 million debt. He still has about $3 million left over.
If 50 is gonna be a power in hip hop at any moment from now, it's like 50 back, he gotta be standing next to me. And so yeah, we started to distance ourselves when we were recording Hater to Love It. That was one of the nights where we ain't...
With almost $400, zero already recovered from royalties. Priscilla Rainey has made slow but steady progress in collecting her judgment. In the interim, for years, the game had boasted on social media that Rainey would get nothing. However, she is doing more than that from a legal standpoint. The court's action was ultimately spurred by the game's attempt to hide the ownership of the home. It was incorporated as a shell company called JTT Holdings. In a move deemed dishonest by the court, that strategy only made matters worse and was a total failure. Then, while chaos was at its height, Rick Ross entered the narrative. Even though he had a personal history with 50 Cent, he took the opportunity to make fun of the game. As the public roasting intensified, both enemies and allies joined in. There was more to this defeat than merely the law. It turned into a complete image collapse in the eyes of the media and industry. Rick Ross was forced to ridicule him. His Calabasas mansion could be lost as a result of the game. He said in an Instagram headline right away. Among the many presents Ross sent with it was a photo of a man dancing in swim trunks, which is obviously unpleasant and constitutes online trolling.
It's me and 50 ran into each other at a popular strip club in Hollywood, West Hollywood, called AOD, Ace of Diamonds. We didn't really run into each other. I knew that he would be there, so I pulled up. Because like I said, everything with me and 50 needs to happen face to face. That was our relationship when we was face to face. You know what I'm saying? It only gets misconstrued when we can't see each other. That if he get in my face, he gonna have to show up as like Curtis, and I'm gonna have to show up as Jason Young. We were friends, and we made great music. He can't make great music with nobody else.
However, the game did not accept such behavior. The timing was reportedly seared into Ross's DMs by a message he sent him: that Olympic will kill you before the Twinkies do. He wrote, "Even if I lost my house, which I didn't, you're still a fat ninja. 300 for ninja." It was a savage response that targeted Ross's weight. Hell, the officer got my account put in jail for a day. Game wrote on Instagram stories after Ross was accused of having his account suspended. Are you all fans of these oddballs? That officer line made direct reference to Ross's former job as a prison officer, which shade aficionados quickly deduced. Then, just for good measure, he added cryptic insults. But then, things went out of control again. He's a dummy for not showing up for the court date, read one widely shared comment on the internet. She was handed the verdict without contest. How can $7 million be lost? It's not just petty drama anymore. It's a full-fledged ego fight on all the screens.
The first thing that happened, he went overseas. His first week numbers came back. He said something about Jay because he was supposed to have ran into Memphis Bleak and had some sort of beef. First, I was trying to get in contact with Jay because I was like, he just got off. Like, Jay'll stomp him out. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, wait, let me get in contact with him to stop him from going back. I can fix it before it actually happens. And then before I could actually get to him, I went up and he was calling the radio station saying, yo, put me on the air, put me on the air. His way of trying to fix that situation was saying, I don't have no problem, not with Jay-Z, not with Memphis Bleak, but I don't have a problem with nobody. I don't have anything to do with that record, Piggy Bank, that 50 Cent got or anything else. So he was trying to separate from you completely. I'm like, all right, well then get rid of him before he even get a chance to make the statement, since he's saying it internally over and over. So I'm not gonna wait for him to say it publicly. And I said it first, and then it got into, that's why we got this office.
It was not only careless, but also reckless to miss court. The outcry was quick and social media was ablaze with reactions. Most people said that Priscilla Rainey won the game without any opposition, that he continued to be active online, that he skipped the hearing, and that he seemed shocked when the court moved to collect. However, social media took a darker turn, and instead of holding the game accountable, some users began to rewrite the story to place the blame on the victim. The alleged actions that sparked immediate indignation were justified by one particularly alarming comment that even questioned Rainey's appearance, implying that she looked like a 304. Fortunately, many people stepped in to stop that and bring attention to the real issue, which was a court ruling in response to serious accusations that weren't even contested in court. The public's reaction has been divided as the repercussions unfold, creating a chaotic, unsettling dynamic as some point the finger at the woman, while others are openly condemning the game. And now things are becoming much more dire. people are beginning to sketch. A serious court case turned into a full-fledged internet circus when legal accountability and popular opinion clashed, revealing how nasty things can get when facts and social criticism mix. And the mayhem didn't end there. Discussions erupted, moving from the lawsuit to the format of VH1 shows. Some claimed the show may have contributed to the poisonous atmosphere, while others incorrectly justified the game by claiming Rini was the one who started the incident. This was a textbook example of misogynistic victim blaming. Despite the fact that the game's lawsuit lacks comparable footage, the court filings present a comprehensive, alarming picture that is garnering new attention. Over time, women have whispered that the game was violent or created dangerous situations, once confined to blog entries and unrecognized interviews. These rumors are now being brought back into the public eye. It is difficult to ignore the similarities between the game's legal issues and the unsettling accusations made against Diddy. The allegations in both cases include inappropriate behavior, drinking, and manipulation, frequently while the cameras were filming and no one intervened to stop it. Both Diddy and the game feel they are being unfairly singled out. That persecution story is beginning to sound familiar, but because of documented court rulings and increasing public outcry, it is no longer just about accusations. It is about power, habits, and a culture that is ultimately forced to examine itself. Now, Diddy and the game are both claiming that they are the targets of coordinated takedowns, and they both insist that the accusations are untrue. The public opinion is rapidly shifting due to court records, open litigation, and the release of actual footage. These are no longer theories or whispers, there is proof, and people are demanding answers and accountability. Diddy's team claims Cassie and others are seeking settlements, but the similarities between the two cases are too strong to overlook. In light of the mounting allegations, court rulings, and supporting evidence, what seemed to be a coincidence now becomes more complicated. Dr. Dre was closely associated with Diddy for 2 full years before he signed the game. They frequented the same nightclubs, after parties, special events, and social circles during that time. The game was observed at Diddy's infamous mansion parties, which were often cloaked in silence and secrecy. Stories never left the premises. NDA letters were signed, phones were seized, and federal investigations are currently investigating the same parties. Naturally, people are beginning to wonder what role the game might have played in those years, what he saw if he was in those rooms during those events, and how strong that connection is. The past affiliations and overlapping charges are starting to blend together, and it's becoming more difficult for both fans and critics to deny the possibility that these aren't isolated incidents but rather part of a larger pattern. Some have started to speculate that the game might have absorbed some of the tendencies he displayed during his affiliation with Diddy in the early 2000s, just by being surrounded by the intensity those private environments fostered. To be fair, there are a number of eye-opening instances in the game's past that are now viewed differently. For example, he recently appeared on Tokyo Tony's podcast. During the conversation, the game casually revealed that he had sex with Black China, dismissing the accusation as if it were nothing. However, after the video went viral online, viewers began closely analyzing the entire episode, with many commenting on the strange tone, the awkward conversations, and the highly unusual environment of the interview. Supporters criticized the exchange for its presentation and the revelation. The game has long been known for its wild storytelling, but in the current environment, those tales are being examined more closely. Controversial soundbites, old interviews, and past connections are being re-examined. What was once an outspoken personality is now faced harsher criticism. Then the moment that raised even more eyebrows was when Tokyo, after glaring at Tony, said, "I heard you messed with my daughter." But the conversation went on and she immediately responded, "Me, too," implying that she would like a turn herself. The game did not flinch, instead saying, "I'll take one for the team." In addition to what was said, the casual handling of the clip sent social media into a frenzy, further escalating concerns about the game's public image at a time when the actions of celebrities are being scrutinized more closely. The result was 26 mandatory anger management classes, 120 hours of community service, and 3 years of probation. This anger has proven to be a recurring issue. In addition, this was not the first time. If we go back to 2007, we find another incident with a weapon charge attached. He allegedly pulled out a gun during a basketball game and threatened someone with it. Carrying a pistol on a basketball court is not only a draw, but it is also a clear indication of carelessness. His legal history runs counter to the game's claim that he is being misunderstood or singled out, and the evidence keeps mounting. He was sentenced to 60 days in prison, 150 hours of community service, and 3 years in prison after entering a no-contest plea to the 2007 felony firearms charge. Probation no longer seems like a run of bad luck at this point, rather, it is a recurring pattern marked by unbridled hostility and instability. It shows a person who struggles to maintain control when it matters most, and it's none other than Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, who is watching this drama unfold in real time with a knowing smile, reposting viral memes, making incisive comments, and letting the world know that he's been waiting for this moment all along, leaning into the mayhem. With his distinctive style, the story goes beyond the most recent controversy surrounding the game. In the court of public opinion, a long past is finally being caught up to. Let's call it what it is. Even though the 50 Plays commentator is cool and collected from the sidelines, 50 Cent isn't just amusing himself to gain influence. He's been scolding these same people for years. Zillow has the game's mansion listed. Diddy's empire is falling apart one by one, and 50 has posted up without bothering watching. It all happened as if it were high-end material. He's holding a tiny smile in one hand and popcorn in the other. Additionally, don't assume that this is the end. Despite being 50, he's already making a documentary trailer with the title G checks and lawsuits. He may even release a soundtrack. To accompany it, he uses this strategy, turning controversy into a campaign. Just ahead of the curve, does the game just represent another artist whose fame couldn't top Fallout's? Or does he fit into a larger, darker trend in hip-hop that is finally coming to a head? The spotlight is only getting brighter as more secrets are revealed, lawsuits pile up, and footage is everywhere. Who will be the next big question? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Icons are falling apart, or is something much more destructive about to happen? To make sure you don't miss a beat, remember to hit the bell, subscribe, and hit the like button, because the next mistake is always around the corner in our line of work. Thank you for viewing. Get the next one.